67% students are responding with C, which is also the correct answer. Very, very well done, really. Some students, that is 4%, go with D, 11% go with B, and 8% go with A. And about 50 students did not participate. So now let's check what's the whole confusion here. See, the passage is a very small passage. You can read it in like just 5 seconds. Flamingo is a type of bird. They live in large group or flock or flocks. In the wild. In the wild means in the jungle or the forest. But they are social and they are very loyal people. What's the main noun here? What is the main purpose of the passage? Why is it being written? To tell you something about flamingo. Rest are all adjectives. They are loyal, they do this, they do that. But the main purpose is flamingo. Be very clear about that. Only flamingo. That's it. Next, they are loyal and they perform group mating dances. Okay. The parents or the parent flamingo are very, very fond of their babies, the young chicks. And they collect them. They collect them into creche. A creche is like a daycare. For humans also, where working mothers will send their children. Post-school daycare, after-school daycare, right? Chick is a baby of the flamingo or the hen or any other such bird, So that's a child. Baby flamingo. That's called creche. That's called a creche, a protection. So they're so devoted and they love their kids so much that they collect them in safety for protecting them. Now, why do they want to protect them? Because they're living in the wild, in the forest. And both male and females, they fly to find food. So when the parents go to find food, they leave behind their kids for protecting them with other flamingos because they are very close to each other. They are loyal people and very social as well. Now, which is the most logical corollary? What conclusion can we draw? A. Mass nesting in all species. Stop there. All. Golden rule number 1. Did you forget about it? What happened to the rule? If any option has an extreme word, it is wrong. We just spoke about it, my dear. What are extreme words? All, none, each, every, never, always, only. So what happened? What happened? What happened here? A, option is wrong. It has an extreme word. All. B, only birds have. What is this only? Extreme word. B gone. C, social behavior in some species of birds increases the odds of survival in an unsafe world. Such a beautiful way of explaining the main idea or the main purpose or the main aim of the author. The author is trying to tell you that they are living in the wild forest and that's why they want to protect their children because they love their children. Why will you protect your child? Because you want your child to live long. You don't want anybody to hunt your child. Logic. If I tell you, I want to protect my mobile. What does it mean? Protect from what? Earthquake. I want to protect it from getting stolen or from falling somewhere. Protecting is safety. That's what they are talking about. They want to protect their children. Why? Because they are living in a jungle and jungle is unsafe. So what helps them in this? Their social behavior. Only because they are social to each other, that's why they leave their children with others when they go to find food. What best explanation do you want? Social behavior in some species of birds, not all, some. Which are these? For example, flamingos. It increases the chances or the possibilities of surviving to living in an unsafe world. Absolutely valid. Now D, all. Once again, extreme word is wrong. I can also explain you the logic behind this strategy. I'm not asking you to use the rules mindlessly. There's a logic also. If you look at the passage carefully, I told you, my dear, in any passage you solve, always try to only stay on the passage. Please don't use your own common sense. Don't use your own knowledge. It's not a game of general knowledge. It's an aptitude test. It's a reasoning question. It is asking you to only answer based on the passage. And the passage is not saying that mass nesting in all species of birds. Now you tell me, or those who selected A, can you please tell me? Please enlighten me also. Where in the passage are we saying that all species of birds? Are we talking about all species of birds? Parrot, pigeon, or penguins, or anyone else? Are we talking about so many species of birds? No, we are only talking about one. Similarly, B, only birds have the capacity to develop social behavior. Really? Humans don't have? Monkeys don't have? Dolphins don't have? Where are we saying that only birds have? Many people can have, dogs can have, cats can have. How you and I can say? We also have, yes, all mammals have. How we can say only birds have? Does the passage tell you that only birds have? C is valid. D, all species of birds set up safety nets or creches for their children to teach them social behavior and loyalty. Really? Is the passage telling you that? If somebody says yes, please, you are using your science knowledge or common sense. But I told you, please don't use your science knowledge or your GK or your current affairs wisdom here. You only have to use what the passage tells you, and the passage refuses to talk about anyone apart from flamingos, leaving C as the only authentic answer otherwise also. Is that clear? Convinced everyone? So this is how the rule works. Although there is a logic behind the rule, but to save your own time, to save your own energy, when I say that you need to finish a passage in say 30 or 40 seconds, rule helps you in doing that. So golden rule number 1, if there is any answer option, A, B, C, D, which has any extreme word out of these 5, only, all, none, never, always, 6, each, every, then it has to be wrong. Will you remember this next time? So read this passage and try to solve it, please. CSAT 2018 for you. Very good. It's an IDQ. Use the methods. Also use your own understanding of the methods. The method should be used, but not blindly. You should use the rules. Also, after using the rules, you try to analyze why is my rule successful. There's a logic behind the rule. I'm really sorry for experience if that's the problem. Please, ma'am, once just check your connection, internet connection, or otherwise SME sir will help you. Frugal means very simple and poor. %78% students go with C. Right answer. Valid response. Very well done. Very well done. Now, to my surprise, 13% have gone with D. Let me clarify why. And then 5 and 4% have gone with A and B. And some of my sweet kids are still not ready to respond. They're just watching. Maybe they learn by watching. That's okay. Take your time. Now, the passage was a very small one. And the passage clearly talks about environmental issue. It says today, in modern times, the top or the biggest environmental problem is combination of two things. People, humans and their desires, aspirations, their dreams. If the aspirations are simple, frugal, poor, easygoing, like the aspirations of people during Second World War, so much more is possible, a lot more is possible. Done. If we start viewing our planet as a giant shopping mall, now you can't assume that your planet is like a mall, that you can take everything from there. Water, resources, energy, fossil fuels, trees. How do you treat your planet like a use and throw commodity? It's not good. No? Your needs are so much today. They are not simple like Second World War people. They are so ambitious. You want luxury. You want everything. What happens then? We need to get beyond the fascination. We have to move beyond. We have to recede. We have to go away from the love, the attraction and the desire of glitter. Glitter, show, gold, luxury, money. And understand that the planet works like a biological system. This planet is not a mall. It works like a sensitive biological system, like a body. You cannot misuse it. Exactly. It reminds us of China and Russia and their own commercial expectations in Arctic Ocean. That's not good. You can't treat your planet like that. So now the question, which of the following is the most, which means many can be correct, but we have to find the most crucial, important, logical, intelligent. Inference from the above passage, IBQ inference-based question. Use the passage as an evidence and reach the most intelligent conclusion. A. The earth can meet only. Stop here. As soon as you see extreme word, you need to stop yourself. Why are we wasting our time? Those who selected A, what happened to you, my dear? What happened to you, child? What happened to you, kitty? What happened to you, my dear student? What went wrong? What happened? You forgot the rule. Is the rule not clear? What happened? I want to hear from you. The rule is not clear. You forgot. It's too much information coming your way, so are you kind of messed up with it? You want me to explain again? Whatever you say, I'll do. But you need to be convinced that if there is any answer option, A, B, C, D, which has an extreme word like this one, A, the earth can meet only. You see the word only and you stop yourself, it will save your time. Otherwise, you will simply waste your time, right? Okay, so only is wrong. Extreme word, wrong. Let's look at the B. The only way. Now, this is coming in the beginning. Only. Again, you see the extreme word only. Okay, I'll explain it. The only way, right? So, what is the only? Extreme word. Once again, eliminate it. Why are you wasting your time? You are taking stress. Waste. D. Knowledge of biological systems can only help us. What happened here? For those who went with D, what happened to you? D is an extreme word. See, my dear, extreme word can be in the beginning of the sentence. It can be at the end of the sentence. It can be in between, hidden somewhere. The only thing is, that's why I tell you, you need to read the option properly. You have to scan it well. It won't take long. You can't save time by not reading it. It will end up messing up. Knowledge of biological system will only help us. But when you know only is an extreme word, you need to eliminate that. This is how CSAT RC works. So therefore, it cannot be correct. True elimination, C is the most valid answer. Now, somebody is saying that, yeah, it was hidden, right? True. So you need to find that out, okay? Another thing is, somebody who says that option C is not clear. Look at this, my dear. What is it trying to say? I tell you, every passage has one main intention, right? One main idea. Why is the passage written? The main thing. And then you have so many supporting ideas. Here, what is the main intention behind the passage? Why did the writer write this passage? To tell you something, and what is that thing? Reducing your own consumerism. Consumerism? The desire to eat, drink, consume, luxury car, mobile phone, Apple iPhone, Mercedes or whatever. Reducing our own consumerism is very much in our own interest. Why? That's what the passage tells you. I keep telling you, take the evidences from the passage. This is how you take the evidences. Listen to me carefully. Look at this. Line number 1 in the passage. Top challenge today is aspirations of people. Hint number 1. Hint number 2. If the aspirations are simple or frugal, a lot more is possible than if you view the planet like a shopping mall. You cannot take it like a shopping mall. 4. We need to go beyond the fascination with glitter and show. 5. We need to understand that the planet works like a biological system. The whole passage has been created to sensitize, to make the reader aware that if people's aspirations are under control and simple, a lot more can be done to protect our planet. And this is exactly what C is saying. If you reduce your consumerism, your greed of money, and all these things, it is in our own interest. Why? Because if the planet will only go, then where will you and I live? And that's why C is the most logical conclusion that you can draw here. Is that clear now or not? Yes, exactly. It is also, yes, very good. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that so much. What she's saying, or what he's saying, they are saying that the very line that we should not consider the planet as a giant shopping mall is matching with this. And I told you somewhere. I don't know where have I told you. I will also try to find out where I told you. Somewhere I've told you that. One line. That the right answer sometimes matches. Yes, look at this slide. The right conclusion somewhere matches with the words of the passage. There is some match. And here the same thing is happening. All the things in the passage were absolutely matching with the right option. What is not clear about the C option? Reducing, cutting down, consumerism, materialistic desire. So just 1 second. I need to clarify so that everybody can move on happily, This is the first session, it takes time. Next session onwards, speed will go up. Consumerism, desire, greed for consumption, luxury, comforts. If you reduce this, it is for your own good, no. It is in our own interest. Because if you do not reduce, what will happen? The planet will also stop working someday. It is already happening. Floods, climate crisis, all of that they're trying to talk about. I hope it's clear to you now. If not, I'll come back to it later. Let's quickly proceed now with another question. No, let's not proceed. Stop. Let's not proceed. No, we can't proceed. Why? Because now the time has come to teach you the rule number 2. Golden rule number 2. What is the golden rule number 2? So, my dear, here's the golden rule number 2. This is very critical. Looks easy. This is the only rule out of 4 rules which has 100% success rate. This rule will not fail even if UPSC exam fails. It will not fail. 100% success rate. What is the rule? The rule is that if in any question you find an answer option, out of A, B, C, D, which is outside the scope of the passage, which is not in context with the passage, which talks about some outside logic or outside information that is not being covered in the passage, it will be 1,000,000% wrong. You have to eliminate that. It will always mislead you. You will lose all the marks for that. So please eliminate options which are not in context of the passage, which are not in the scope of the small passage here. To prove you the point, have a look at the question 2020 CSAT passage based on ecology. In this passage, out of my students, before the golden rules were made in 2019 batch, so many people have told that they got confused. Why? You see yourself. Have a look and please answer the question. Think. It's an IBQ. No problem. You're still most welcome. Anytime, ma'am. You're most welcome. Use the evidences from the passage, link them, and reach the logical conclusion. It's an IBQ. Nothing from outside will be used here. Only in context with the passage. Thank you. Sorry, I'm so sorry. That's a typo. A, B, C, D. Thank you. If it's your dream, then sacrifice. Oh, look at this. 25% of you have answered C, and it's the right answer, my dear. 7% only have answered A. That's a very good thing. That's something I'm very happy about. And 59% have answered B, but this happens in many, many lectures. A lot of students are confused by B. Agreed. And then 10% have gone with D. Let's understand what went wrong. Now, I really have no right to be unhappy. Why? Because 2020, was the toughest year in the history of CSAT from 2011 to 2023. So it is justified. Now let's break it down for you. The passage is ecology. Language is very confusing. Question is IBQ. It says one of the biggest ironies. Irony is a paradox. One of the biggest paradox about water is that it comes from rivers and wetlands. Water always comes from lake or any kind of pond or any kind of river or any kind of glacier somewhere, but it always comes from a water body. Automatically, water will come from a water body. Yet, despite that, it is seen as separate from them. Divorce is just a fancy way of saying separate. It is seen as separate from it. Why? What is the reason? Reason is that water is seen as a resource, commodity, cooking and drinking and bathing and cleaning. And public policy, the government's policy, does not understand. Grasp means understand. That it is a part of natural ecosystem. When you are saying in the first line, now please try to collect the evidences. Listen to me carefully, my dear. 1 second, I want from you. 1 second. Take evidences. Line number 1. Water comes from river and wetland. Line number 2. Yet it is seen separate from it. It is a bad thing. Why? Because government does not understand that water is a part of natural ecosystem. All 3 lines mean the same thing. Water comes from river and wetland. Yet you should not consider it separated from them. Government should understand it is a part of nature, ecology. Efforts, initiatives at engineering water system. What is engineering? Engineering is not just BTech or BE. It's not that. Engineering means to create something. It's an English word primarily. It means to make something. For example, a very smart man must have engineered this pen. A very smart man must have engineered this bottle design. Engineering means is making something. So efforts at engineering water systems, creating water systems like dams, very good, hydroelectric power projects or canals or pipelines or whatever. Yeah, hydroponics or whatever. Whosoever makes the effort at creating these water systems, they are all making efforts at increasing, empowering, enhancing, strengthening or improving water supply. The main intention behind creating water systems is to improve supply of water to people because water is a resource. We all need it. So they want to improve the supply of water. It's a duty of the government. But this is where they are failing because they are not. Rather than they are not strengthening the capacity of ecological system. Hint number 5. Water comes from river and wetland. We use it as a resource. And public policy is not understanding that water is a part of ecosystem. Whenever you are trying to improve the capacity of water systems, artificial water systems, they are artificial, they are man-made, engineered. Engineered means man-made. We are only trying to improve the capacity of these engineered systems. We are not trying to strengthen, enhance, augment the capacity of ecosystem. But water comes from ecosystem. What will you get by further modernizing or enhancing your artificial system? One day water will stop because you are not improving the capacity of river and wetland. If river dies, if glaciers die, if lakes and ponds die, where will you get water from? How many canals you can make? You keep making them. Keep engineering your water system and keep augmenting them. But water will end because there is no enhancing of the ecosystem. As simple as that. Now come to the options. A. Rivers and other wetlands should be protected under Ramsar Convention. I'm so glad majority said it is wrong. This is where the rule number 2 comes into picture. Today you are saying 7% is wrong. Before the rule was told to people, we did this mock test. 85% went for A. Let me tell you something more shocking. More shocking. You'll be amazed. When initially 2020 paper was released, not released officially, when it was shared through some private websites, coaching institutes, majority coaching institutes selected A as the answer. Can you imagine that? I mean, why? Go to rule number 2. Anything that is not mentioned in the passage, anything that's outside the scope of the passage cannot be the right answer. Why? What went wrong? Because majority used their general knowledge and common sense and current affairs. We all know that Ramsar Convention is there to protect wetlands, and therefore they use their general knowledge. They did not understand. CSAT is not a GK test. It is a logical reasoning exercise. Why are you doing this then? Is the passage talking about wetland conservation through Ramsar Convention? That's why A was out of context. Rule number 2. This is how rule number 2 comes. Nothing from outside should be correct. Option number B, engineering, which means making water systems should be modernized and further augmented. Now also will you say it is B? Now also will you say it's B? What did I just tell you about the passage? Public policy does not understand that it is a part of natural resources, natural ecosystem. Whenever you are trying to make efforts at engineering water system, you are only trying to improve the capacity of water systems. You are not trying to improve the capacity of ecosystem, but water is coming from ecosystem. The first line says it is a part of ecosystem, but it is seen as separated from that. Last line is proving the point. First line says something, last line proves it. So therefore, B is opposite of the passage and majority has gone with B. Outside the scope of the passage, rule number 2, it is not there in the passage. Passage says opposite, ulta, that you please encourage and augment your ecosystem. And option is saying please modernize and encourage engineering water systems. Opposite is the truth. See, wetlands need to be reinforced. Reinforced, they need to be further reinvigorated, further established as more than just open sources of water. Yes, because they are not just open sources of water. They are the parent of your water. The first line. Water comes from rivers and wetlands. I told you the right option will somewhere have a resonance with the passage. There will be some spiritual similarity between the right option and the passage, and here it is. D. Totally rule number 2. Out of scope of the passage. Nothing from outside should be used. Water supply should not be free of cost as to prevent its misuse or overuse. Well, it's a right option. It's a correct option. But the question is saying you don't have to find the right answer. You have to find the most logical inference that can be made from this passage. Does the passage talk about cost, fees, fine, tax about water? Yes or no? You will get your answer. It's totally out of the scope of the passage. It doesn't talk about it. Not even once. Absolutely. Absolutely. True. Now, if you analyze the passage with the option, you will realize what mistake you have made. The answer has to be in relevance to the given passage. Neither is the passage talking about Ramsar, nor is the passage trying to talk about fees or cost. Neither are we trying to talk about artificial systems. So therefore, C is the most valid message, the critical message of the passage. Yes, you're right. Exactly. This is what it's a beautiful thing you're saying. We don't have to protect artificial water system only for supply improvement. We have to be selfless. Ecology is everything. It's our mother. So we have to support the ecology. Now, those people who are saying open sources means people think that wetlands are places. People are saying wetlands are places where water is there. What is a wetland? An area that is 12 months are here moist. It has some water. Even if it's a dead lake or it's a river which is not visible anymore, it's a wetland only. Beneath it, it's a water only, right? So people think they are just open sources of water. Please understand, they are not open sources of water only. They need to be strengthened, they need to be augmented because they are the parent of water. They are more than just sources of water. They are providing you water. Water comes from there. You are asking this because you are thinking that you are treating this like a PBQ. If you treat IBQ like a PBQ, it will be a problem. You are saying that wetland enforcement is not in the passage. But this is not a PBQ, my dear. It's an IBQ. Passage will only give you a hint. Answer and conclusion is up to you to take out. Got the point? Got the point? When you are saying, see, the meaning is the same, words can change. Exactly. Look at this in the passage. I highlight some words. Please watch these words and I think that will help you better. I'm highlighting some words, guys. Please look at the words, my dear. Look at this word. Augment. Look at this word. Strengthen. Right? What do they mean? They mean the same thing. To encourage the capacity of something, to boost something. How is this word different from the word reinforce? When you are reinforcing something, you are further making it more strengthened, you are further highlighting it more, and you are further giving it more importance, you are augmenting its capacity. So all these words mean the same thing. You do this, but not for artificial things, you do it for ecology, because water comes from ecology. Is that clear? Shall we proceed with the next question then? Done. So now let's proceed with the next question. And now you don't just know rule number 1, extreme words. You also know rule number 2. So when we know both the rules, and we also know we don't have to find the correct but the most appropriate answer, then please use both the rules together. 2018 passage for you. Just focus on the main intention. Why was the passage ever written? The most important purpose of the passage has to be noticed here because it's an IBQ. Also, please remember the rules as you answer. Why was the passage written? What's the main intention here? So think deeply. Don't get lost in unnecessary options. Time is almost up and very well done actually. That's a good performance. Like 54% students have answered B and this is really, really encouraging. That's really well done. Now we do have 25% respondents who go with C and then 50% who have gone with D, but then the majority has really done well. So let's see what went wrong with C and what went wrong with those who selected D. Now, as I said, we need to see why was the passage written in the first place? What's the main intention behind this passage? It's a complete ecology-based passage, but the passage is focused around comparison of 2 areas, geographical regions. It talks about Arctic, the North Pole area. It says Arctic's huge resources of fossil fuels, fish, and mineral are now accessible. You can reach out to them for a longer period of the year, which means people can reach Arctic for a very long time now. Earlier, no, but now yes. But this is not like the situation of Antarctica, located somewhere in the South Pole. Why? What's the difference? Because Antarctica is protected by a treaty, by a law that was made in history during the Cold War, which says that no country can make a claim in this region. Nobody can just come and exploit this region, and hence people can't come to Antarctica. If they can't come, it's a very safe thing. But in Arctic Circle, there is no such rule. In Arctic, there is no law which protects it from exploitation, and anybody can come here now. Yesterday, days before, years before, it wasn't a problem, but today it is a problem. Why? Because now global climate change has happened. Today, what is the problem is that there is no legal regime that protects Arctic from industrialization. People want to industrialize, they want to expand industry. Everybody is trying to reach the Arctic, especially at a time when the world craves means needs. When the world needs more resources, countries are becoming overpopulated. We need more production. So therefore, we need more resources, they are becoming greedy. Yes. What is the worst problem? The clear possibility, the distinct is clear, the clear possibility of an ice-free summer in the Arctic. Earlier, even during the summer, Arctic used to be frozen. Why? Because it was cold. It is a North Pole area. But today, with global warming, during the summer season, Arctic ice is melting. If it is melting, what happens? Who will take the advantage? The countries who are the neighbors of Arctic, who are located in the coastline of Arctic, are now attacking the Arctic. Why? Because they are greedy for resources, for industrialization, and they are fighting with each other, scrambling with each other. For what? For big chunks of melting ocean. If the ocean is melting now, because ice is melting, now they will easily get fish, gas, oil, and so many other minerals. What do they want? They are all trying to attack Arctic and make territorial claims over it. Look at this word, territorial claims. Antarctic, they cannot do it, but Arctic, they can do it because of summer ice melting. If ice will melt and summer will become ice-free, naturally many more ships and many more countries will attack here and they will start fighting with each other over the resources of the sea. Now they can reach out to it. Plus, there is no legal protection also, so everybody will come. That's it. So now what's the implication of the passage? It's an IBQ. Let's use these evidences to find the logical conclusion. A. India can have territorial claims in the Arctic territory. Does the passage talk about India? True. Does the passage talk about India remotely? No. Then how can anybody select A? If the passage is not talking about India, the passage is talking about countries who have coastline with Arctic coastline. Look at this. India has none. There's no related there. So India is out of scope of the passage. Rule number 2. I requested you, please use the rule number 2. It is out of scope, outside information, wrong. Let's look at C first. C. The Arctic will solve world's future problem of resource crunch. Okay. Are we talking about Arctic solving the future problem of world's lack of resources? Crunch means lack of it, deficiency of resources. Will it solve the world's problem? Even if, let me listen to me very carefully, listen to me. If the option number C would have said, listen, Arctic region will solve. Yes, very good. If the Arctic region will solve the neighborhood country's future problem, then your confusion was admitted. I agree. But it is not talking about it. And when you are saying the world will crave, what we are trying to say is that today it's a situation that the world wants more and more resources. If the world is wanting more and more resources, it doesn't mean the whole world will come to Arctic. It is not possible for Australia, for India or Brazil or any other country in the south to go all the way to Arctic. That the passage is not telling us. Agreed that the world needs resources. Because the world needs resources, the countries who are the neighbor, the coastline countries of the Arctic are coming and attacking it. But this is not being mentioned, that the entire world's future problem will be solved by Arctic. Again, rule number 2 out of scope. D, totally out of scope. Totally out of scope. Arctic region has more resources than Antarctica. Please enlighten me, my dear. Enlighten me. Enlighten this poor lady. Anybody? Where in the passage has it been mentioned? Show me the light. Enlighten my path. Shed some wisdom on this woman. Shed. 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 What happened? It's nowhere, no? And why you selected it as the right answer? If it was not there. Arctic region it has more resources than Antarctica. Where is the passage saying? Only one comparison has been done. Arctic is not protected under any legal treaty. But Antarctic is protected under a legal treaty that was made. When? It was made during the Cold War. And therefore nobody can claim it. But there is no legal treaty protecting the Arctic. That's the only comparison that has been made, my dear. There is no other comparison that's made. So why you think it's D? So all of them are out of the scope of the passage, making B the most valid answer. Melting of summer ice. Yes. What does the passage say? The distinct possibility of ice-free summer. Now, if I tell you, please hold your nose like this, or if I tell you, please hold your nose like this, ultimately it is about holding the nose only. Today, I am not feeling well. I am unwell today. What is the big difference between these two things? So the passage tells you ice-free summer, and the option tells you melting of summer ice. Then why is it so different? In the Arctic, leads to change in geopolitics. Now you will say there is no mention of geopolitics. My dear, is it a PBQ? If it's a PBQ, then you are right. It should be matching. But if it's not a PBQ, why will it be matching? You have to take out a logical conclusion. Okay, you have to do the hard work here. What does geopolitics mean? Politics based on geography. This is exactly what is happening. Now look at this slide. Let me highlight this for you. What is written here? It has prompted countries of Arctic coastline to scramble for great chunks of melting ocean. Now, if you do match the following, my dear, what will you see here? What will you see here? You will see that ice is melting. Countries are scrambling. I said fighting over that area. This is only geopolitics. When you do politics over geography. So why is option number C not clear to you? Oh, sorry, B not clear to you? Now you tell me. What is the problem in understanding it? Exactly. No. First day you are making last day. You were so tired of my lecture that in one day only you want last day. Nicely, we have 3 classes, okay? And you have to attend all of them. Today is the first one. Monday will be second. Tuesday will be third. Okay? Okay, fine. So this question is sorted. Absolutely. This is and it's a very realistic option also. Like I say that they're coming from current affairs. Yeah, they are coming from current affairs. True. I mean, now what is happening with China and Russia? All of them are trying to fight and scramble over Arctic. They're digging holes into it. They're finding natural gas in Arctic and Siberia. All this is current affairs. Thank you so much. Now, one last no. Actually, let me not do this. Let me not give you the third rule because time will be over, and in 7 minutes I cannot explain the rule, and we cannot use the rule either. So this I will do only on Monday. As of now, before I leave, I will tell you the rule, but we will not practice the rule. No. Wait, not shooting. Nobody will run away like this. Just because you're online doesn't mean you will do what you want. Okay, be here. If it was offline, I would have closed the door. I do that sometimes, but now I cannot stop you. So stop here. Now the rule I will tell you. Application you will do on Monday, but you will not forget anything. Okay, not even one rule you will forget. The third rule is a very important rule. So please, all eyes, all ears. The rule says, rule number 1 that you already know is extreme words, and rule number 2 which you already know is about no outside information. Now both these rules are applicable where? To the answer options, either A, B or C. But rule number 3 and rule number 4 and rule number half, the remaining 3 are only applicable to the passage, not the options. Please remember, my dear, only applicable to the passage. How? The rule number 3 says, when you read the passage, while reading the passage, if you find a word which is called as that, yes, it is called that. It's a very common English word. Whenever you find a word that in the passage, please stop there. Stop there. The next line after the word that will be very critical and very decisive. Why? Because it will lead you to the answer automatically. It will lead you to the correct option. Always. So while reading the passage, kindly focus on the word that. In English language, whenever the word that is used, the author is always trying to give you the most important information. Based passage, but the passage is focused around comparison of 2 areas, mineral, and now by a law that was made in history during the Cold War, which says that no country can make a claim in this region. Nobody can just come and exploit this region, and hence people can't come to Antarctica. If they can't come in the days before, years before, it was countries who are the neighbor, the coastline countries of the